Bastille Day celebrations in Marigot speech by Louis Mussington, President of the Collectivité of Saint-Martin, MP Lyndon Lewis, speaks to the Minister of Justice in a Parliament meeting. Minister of Finance, Marinka Gums, St. Martin's national budget process. Frequently asked questions. The ministry with the official launch of our new foreigners management system. From the island of St. Martin, this is SXM Daily News for July 15th, 2026. Tuesday, July 14th, 2026, the President of Parliament, Mrs. Sarah Westcott-Williams, attended the Bastille Day celebrations in Marigot. The festivities commenced with an ecumenical service at the Marigot Catholic Church. Following the service, the President of Parliament joined the sous-préfète, Ms. Marie Hildegard Chauveau, President of the Collectivité of Saint-Martin, Mr. Louis Mussington, and other dignitaries from both sides of the island to witness the parade of uniformed troops and the wreath-laying ceremony at the Collectivité's Memorial Monument. Louis Mussington, President of the Collectivité of Saint-Martin. His speech, "Welcome you to another one of your At the Corner," is the beginning of the century, marked by the historic farming of the bacteria. Define woman in history, symbolizing the people's determination to stand for the values of liberty, equality, and justice. That continues to inspire us today. We are also here to accomplish this important day and the cultural life of our nation.
This event reflects the rich maritime heritage of our island and reminds us that despite our differences, we remain united by our shared history, our culture, and our common aspiration. Fellow St. Martiners, as President of the Collectivité of St. Martin, I stand before you today with a profound sense of gratitude and humility. Serving the people of St. Martin is the greatest honor of my life. The challenges we have faced over the years have been numerous and, at times, extremely difficult. Yet, through every obstacle, we have remained steadfast in our commitment to serve with integrity, responsibility, determination, and above all, with an unwavering desire to improve the lives of the people of St. Martin. From the very beginning, we made promises for our population, not empty promises, but commitments backed by action. Today, I am proud to say that we have honored those commitments. Together, we have regularly resurfaced and improved roads throughout our territory, install and upgrade public lighting across our districts, making our neighborhoods safer. We built 2 high schools, including one of the most modern, fully digital educational institutions in our region. We constructed the Media Library in Concordia, restoring an important center of learning and culture. Double scholarships for our students, investing in the future of our youth. Paid outstanding benefits owed to many of our dedicated public servants. Purchased the land that would allow us to build St. Martin's first senior citizen home, ensuring dignity and quality care for our elders. Acquired the land for a future administrative building, improving the efficiency of public services. Developed 2 beautiful public parks where parents and children can spend quality time together in a safe and welcomed environment. These achievements were made possible through sound financial management, the dedication of our public servants, and a clear vision for the future of St. Martin. Yet, our work is far from finished. As we prepare for a second mandate, we remain committed to building a stronger and more prosperous St. Martin. We will construct new football stadiums and develop a modern cultural center in Sunny Ground that will showcase the incredible talent, heritage, and creativity of our people. We also recognize that too many families continue to live in unacceptable housing conditions. This is a reality we cannot accept. So therefore, our objective is clear: to accelerate the construction of new housing developments so that every St. Martiner has access to safe, decent, and affordable housing. Today, I am especially pleased to make an important announcement. I am pleased to announce that we have been able to successfully secure the 38 million needed to purchase the Bobel Tea property. And I must say, with a sense of joy and a sense of satisfaction, that this is one of my greatest achievements during my 4 years in office. When I was first elected, many advised me to abandon this project. They believed it was too difficult and too complicated. But leadership, let it be known, leadership is not about avoiding difficult decisions. Leadership is about protecting the interests of your people and preserving opportunities for future generations. I have always believed that the land of St. Martin must first and foremost benefit the people of St. Martin. That is why I firmly believe that every family should have the opportunity to own a piece of land on which they can build a home, raise their children, and create their own future. I am therefore proud to announce that affordable residential lots will soon be made available, opening the door to home ownership for many St. Martin families. This is more than a land acquisition. It is an investment in our future. It is an investment in our children. It is an investment in future generations.
Minister of Justice Natalie Tackling, speaking at the COM press briefing. Last week marked a major milestone for the ministry with the official launch of our new Foreigners Management System, a significant step forward in the digital transformation of our immigration services. For years, immigration applications relied heavily on manual and paper-based resources.
Last week marked a major milestone for the ministry with the official launch of our new Foreigners Management System, FMS, a significant step forward in the digital transformation of our immigration services. For years, immigration applications relied heavily on manual and paper-based resources. Today, we're moving forward with a centralized digital platform that allows applicants to create an account, submit their applications online without losing these documents, upload supporting documents electronically, and most importantly, monitor the progress of their application from wherever they are in the world. This is about more than introducing a new piece of technology. It's about making government services work better for our community. It's about improving the experience of the public, reducing paperwork, increasing efficiency, strengthening security, improving our record keeping, and providing a more transparent service for applicants, employers, and legal representatives. We also recognize that with any new system comes questions, and we encourage the public to visit the frequently asked questions section available through the new FMS portal, where many common questions have already been answered. If additional assistance is needed, our teams remain available to provide support. I also want to remind the public that all new residence permit applications and renewals must now be submitted through the new Foreigner Management System, and that can be done at ibps.stmartingov.org. In addition to that, we appreciate everyone's patience as we transition into this new way of doing business, but we are confident that this investment will greatly improve immigration services over the long term. Within our Staff Bureau and Judicial Affairs divisions, work also continues internally to strengthen the ministry. The Human Resources team is carefully reviewing the latest decisions that have been received from our Objection Committee. This has to do with the placement process for our justice workers, to ensure that the placement matters are processed accurately and fairly. At the same time, preparations are well underway for phase 2 of the personnel placement process, with strategic planning already taking place to support the rollout of phase 2. These internal improvements are essential to building a more effective ministry. Our Customs Department also continues to demonstrate why vigilance at our borders remains so important. During a recent cargo inspection operation, customs officers successfully intercepted firearms that had been concealed inside modified items, along with a significant quantity of suspected marijuana. Both were immediately seized and transferred to the appropriate investigative authorities. Operations like these rarely make the headlines until something is found, but they happen every day. They remind us that border security is one of our country's first lines of defense against illegal firearms, narcotics, and organized criminal activity. I want to commend our customs officers for their professionalism, vigilance, and continued dedication to protecting St. Martin. Our police force also continues to remain highly active across the island. Over the past 2 weeks alone, officers responded to serious incidents, including a shooting investigation, a death investigation, a robbery in which a suspect was quickly apprehended and the victim's stolen property was recovered, and the proactive operations that resulted in the arrest of 5 individuals and the seizure of a firearm before it could be potentially used in criminal activity. These actions demonstrate that our police force is not only responding to crimes after they occur, but also preventing crime before it happens through intelligence-led operations and proactive patrols. The police also continue to intensify traffic enforcement across the island, with a particular focus on motorcycles and scooters. More than 100 vehicles were inspected, numerous violations were identified, and several scooters were impounded for offenses including operating without helmets, licenses, insurance, inspections, road tax, and other legal requirements. Let me be very clear. These enforcement actions are not only about issuing fines, they are about saving lives. Far too many complaints continue to be received regarding reckless riding, excessive noise, speeding, and dangerous behavior on our roads. These operations will continue because everyone deserves to travel our roads safely. However, enforcement alone is only part of the solution. Whether you're driving a car, riding a scooter, or crossing the street, we all have a role to play in protecting one another. Let us choose responsibly over recklessness and work together to make our roads safer for everyone. Then, moving to our detention sector reform program. I'm excited to share that work continues on the construction of the new Point Blanche prison, and they have successfully commenced. The contractor is currently finalizing the site camp, which will include site offices and a new parking facility for staff and visitors. This groundwork lays the foundation for the stages ahead. This initial phase is a standard and critical component of large-scale infrastructure projects, ensuring that all systems, resources, and safeguards are fully in place prior to full construction. UNOPS continues to actively manage progress in close coordination with partners, with a focus on maintaining delivery, efficiency, while ensuring full compliance with quality, safety, and oversight standards. As per the program presented by the contractor, upcoming activities will include the demolition of an existing warehouse within the prison, which will commence this week, followed by the clearing of vegetation to the north of the site. Further updates on project milestones will be shared as work progresses, and we will be sharing pictures and videos, since we also recognize that a lot of what happens on the top of the hill in Point Blanche is not in the eye of the public, so those will be following in the coming days. In closing, I think this week's updates reflect something important. Justice continues to be much broader than enforcement alone. It is investing in our youth, modernizing government services, strengthening our institutions, protecting our borders, educating families, preventing crime before it occurs, and when necessary, it is enforcing the law professionally and fairly. That work continues every single day across this ministry, and I want to thank all of our justice workers for their continued dedication and service to the people of St. Martin. Thank you.
Minister of Finance, Marinka Gums. Due to the recent discussion surrounding our national budget and the many questions people may have about how the process works, I believe it is my responsibility as Minister of Finance to provide some clarity. That is why I am here today, to answer some of the most frequently asked questions about the St. Martin national process. The national budget is the country's annual financial plan. It shows how much money the government expects to receive and how that money will be used in that fiscal year to fund the services and programs that keep our country running, from schools and healthcare to roads, public safety, and other essential services.
How does the government prepare the national budget? The budget process begins with a strategic budget session where ministers, secretaries general, financial controllers, cabinet staff, and the Ministry of Finance come together to discuss government's priorities and prepare for the budget cycle. The Council of Ministers then decides the priorities and the financial limits for every ministry. Using those approved priorities and budget ceilings, each ministry prepares its own budget. The Ministry of Finance reviews every submission to ensure it complies with the agreed framework and combines them into one national budget. The draft budget also undergoes internal financial and legal reviews. Once those reviews are complete, the Council of Ministers approves the draft national budget. This draft budget is then reviewed by several independent institutions before it is submitted to Parliament for debate and approval. Does the Minister of Finance decide the budgets of the ministries and Parliament? Simply put, no. Each ministry prepares its own budget based on the priorities and financial limits approved by the Council of Ministers. Parliament prepares its own budget as well. By law, each minister is responsible for managing and executing the budget of their respective ministries. Why don't ministries automatically receive every budget increase they request? Because government can't simply increase spending without knowing where the money will come from. If one ministry's budget increases, that increase must either be covered by additional government revenue or by reducing spending elsewhere. Otherwise, we would be spending more than government expects to receive. For example, if government expects to collect 600 million guilders in revenue, but all ministries together request 800 million guilders, there would be a shortfall of 200 million guilders. Under the law, the national budget must be balanced. This means planned spending cannot exceed the revenue government expects to receive. That's why every request is considered within the financial limits approved by the Council of Ministers. Why are some ministries' budgets so low? Truth be told, every ministry could benefit from additional funding. But the national budget is based on more than what a ministry requests. When preparing the budget, we also look at how much of the ministry's previous budgets were actually spent. In many cases, ministries request additional funding even though they didn't fully use the funding they already received. So, budgets are based not only on what a ministry wants to achieve, but also on what it has the capacity to deliver. Did the Minister of Finance cut the budgets of other ministries? Again, the answer is no. Every ministry actually received an increase for their 2026 budget compared to the previous year. The discussions were never about cutting budgets. They were about ensuring that every ministry's budget remained within the financial limits that the Council of Ministers had already approved. Is the government delaying projects by refusing to provide additional funding? No, because money is only one part of the equation. A project may also need new laws, policies, trained staff, equipment, or technical preparation before it can actually move forward. Until those pieces are in place, providing additional funding alone won't necessarily make the project happen any faster. As Minister of Finance, I hope these answers have helped make the budget process a little easier to understand. The national budget is more than numbers. It's about making responsible choices with the country's resources so that government can continue providing essential services while investing in St. Martin's future.
Your social and health insurance is your social and health insurances.
Are you SXV insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXV is cardless. Request your My SXV account today and enter the virtual office of SXV. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
Your social and health insurances.
More on Now You Know with Valerie Van Putten, Guest Deputy Director of SCV, Elton Felici.
In the process, there's a lot of players in the process. So there's a specialist communicating with the client, making a report, sending it to SZV, and by SZV we get a report, and by then we will see, okay, which status is it? Is it urgent? We immediately start taking care of it. Is it elective? Then you have to go make an appointment, and then you go in the regular list of waiting list that is there also internationally. And sometimes also, in the process, you need certain documentation, medical documentation, to send abroad so that they know, okay, can we help the patient, when we can schedule it, etc. So it takes a little bit of time. And SZV does nearly everything in the process. So from booking the ticket, making sure the person have daily allowance, making appointments, making sure that when they reach there, somebody picks them up, bring them to the hotel, and also make sure that they are there on time for the appointments abroad. So there's a lot we facilitate in the process that a lot of people don't know, but those are things that we are doing. And to give an example, that is also one of those processes that we are automating a little bit further to improve the service. Hopefully somewhere in the fourth quarter we can implement the new system, and the new system
The fourth quarter, for the end of the year.
Yes, because it's automated already, but we of course get feedback from the client, and based on the feedback we try to improve further. To give an example, one of the things that feedback that we got a lot is, okay, I'm there in Colombia and I'm waiting on SZV to react, right? But a lot of these things happen via email, and maybe an email goes in somewhere that you know somebody didn't pick it up. So in the system, current system, we don't have that a medical institution abroad can request for an extension, right? So now we're building it in, and once it's built in, then it pops up. And let's say, for instance, if one person is on vacation, another one can pick it up. If it goes by email, that person on vacation, nobody picks it up, and so forth. And those can lead to frustration.
Exactly.
So these are little things that we learn through the years, and through
you're
the
trying
process.
to improve on.
Yes, we try to improve on them.
Okay. How many countries are you currently affiliated with that you send patients abroad?
We are affiliated with Curacao.
Still?
Yes,
Okay, good.
we're still affiliated with Curacao. We're
Okay.
affiliated with Colombia, which is the main one, and then also the Netherlands. The Netherlands is specifically for the complex cases.
Okay. And what about Panama?
Panama, we stopped because Panama was actually temporary.
Okay.
It was basically during COVID, we couldn't get anywhere else to send the clients. So it was only
Okay,
Panama
okay,
was accepting accepting our clients. And then we started the how you say that, sending our clients to Panama. And once the COVID finished, then little by little we start transition back to Colombia. And of course, people who went Panama already want to continue with the same. So there was a transition to go back to to Colombia. And I know some people like the Panama experience too.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. And especially the English. They're more versed in English compared to Colombia.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
that's one of the reasons, yeah.
MP Lyndon Lewis speaks to the Minister of Justice in a Parliament meeting on Tuesday, July 7th, 2026. I understand that you are denying migrants and putting them in positions to be separated from their parents. I don't work in the department. I'll tell you. This is the information on revenue-generating measures. Police officers need to be paid. Prison officers need to be paid. Custom officers need to be paid. Course guys need to be paid. You name it. I think it's about 9 departments you have fallen on. When the courthouse comes with a budget, the Minister of Justice has to approve it. When a prosecutor's office comes with a budget, the minister has to approve it. How come they don't get what he wants? MP Lewis said.
Minister, through you, Madam Chair, I understood that you are denying migrants and putting them in positions to be separated from families. I don't work in the department. I was telling you this is what I understood. This is the information that I received. Revenue generating measures. Police officers need to be paid. Prison officers need to be paid. Custom officers need to be paid. Coast guards need to be paid. You name it. I think it's about 9 departments you have fallen under you. When the courthouse comes with a budget, the Minister of Justice have to approve it. When the prosecutor's office comes with a budget, the minister has to approve it. How come they don't get what they want? How come Minister of Justice, through you, Madam Chair, the prosecutor's office and the courthouses get what they want? But what the rest of the justice workers need is not given. How hard are you fighting to have the needs of your departments accomplished? Through you, Madam Chair, the minister also mentioned in her presentation that 332 FTEs or positions basically have to be available within CAPESM. You said 189 includes police officers and include administrative workers. You also mentioned that this is backdating from 10-10-10. Madam Chair, consecutively, I think in October, September of this year, the Chief of Police will be 11 years in that seat. Since 10-10-10, we only had 2 Chief of Police, Madam Chair. Who is responsible, Minister of Justice, for the recruitment drive to fill those FTEs? Because according to me, it is the Chief of Police, Carl John. According to me, that people last longer at Burger King and McDonald's longer than in the police force. My question to you, Madam Chair, through you, to the Minister of Justice, why is that? How many police officers have resigned since, again, 2015, September to now? I wanted to tell the people then, because in our ministry, we should want competencies. In our ministry, we should want expertise. We don't want nobody sit in a position and be complacent. I have grown within the police organization, just like many others. The good lady sitting there next to you might be our next chief of police in this country. Because I've also seen her with stripes to stars and balcony, Madam Chair. We need vibrant people who will stand up and lead our country and push it forward. We are not here to sit along and to get along. If the chief of police is not functioning to bring up the FTEs, then he too got to go. If the chief of police, I want you to tell me, Matt, how much officers are currently, for example, suspended? Or not suspended, sorry. Active investigations on police officers, Madam Chair. And I understood some of them are just working like nobody business. What type of, because we have lack of manpower? How much police officers just sent home for no reason that has no kind of documentation, the reason why they are home? Because they are fighting for a position or a rank in court? But somebody who's under criminal investigation or even got sentenced because they appeal it, they're still working in the police station. But other officers who don't have no type of investigation on them are sitting home.
MP Ludmila de Wever also spoke out on problems, told the Council of Ministers that perhaps they should all get together and focus on the issues that we have right now in the country at that time, so almost like 2 years ago, which was specifically for the Ministry of Justice.
What I said right here when the Marcelina II cabinet started, and I told the Council of Ministers that perhaps they should all get together and focus on the main issues that we have right now in the country at that time, so almost about 2 years ago, which was specifically for the Ministries of Rummy and the Ministries of Justice. And I think it probably fell on deaf ears, because then maybe we wouldn't be here discussing the shortfalls and the sharing of blame to go around. And I'm not here to really point out and defend the fact that Parliament doesn't have a role and ministers don't have a role, but I will clarify a couple things from this presentation today. And I want to remind the public of what MP Arian said. He said, this Council of Ministers lacks vision. This Council of Ministers lacks empathy. This Council of Ministers lacks, what else was it? Leadership. This Council of Ministers lacked priority. He said those words, and then he repeated something again at the end. And all I could say was, no, the Council of Ministers don't lack those things. They lack chutzpah. They lack gall. They lack extreme boldness. You want to know why? Because when I was minister, that same extreme boldness is what I had with you. When we had no money, we needed a 7-year project that no TAYAT minister could do before. We had no money. We had maybe about $6.5 million left for capital expenditures, and it was during COVID. And I remember telling the minister then, which was Ardwell, the Minister of Finance, I said, if you don't give me this money for this project that is 75% paid by France, I said, I'm going to go public. And I'm going to tell the world that this minister didn't give it to me on a 7-year project that we actually needed for a radar, which is for our safety. That's exactly what I want to remind people of, why you need extreme boldness as a minister. So when you come and you try and share the blame, you can't share the blame really when the ministers lack chutzpah. That's exactly what's happening here in this Council of Ministers. So I get it. I get what the minister said here today. I get it. I get the presentation. And one thing I will commend the minister for is that I finally see a minister come and tell us
that this bill wasn't paid, and that's why we couldn't get legislation. But as a parliament, our role here is literally only to approve a budget. But there's a word, there's a crap in a budget, crap out of a budget. So if you don't give us the information that we need to make proper decisions in a budget, how do you expect us to know that government has a bunch of outstanding bills and legislation that's pending? Today was the truth coming for the first time. Go ahead, MP Erin. Thank you, Chair Lady. Sorry, I forget I'm not the chair today. Go ahead.
Thank you, MP De Wever, and with your indulgence, I'll allow MP Erin to make an interruption. Thank you. MP Erin, you may make your interruption.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I'm happy that MP De Wever mentioned, because as I mentioned, how we operate in the Council of Ministers, but I don't want to sound like it was a threat just happened and the money showed up. We worked together to ensure that it's on the budget, and not only that, it was executed. Because one of the conversations we had with all the ministries was, you could want what you want, but show me how it would get done. And that's how we worked when we were there. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, MP Erin. MP De Wever, you may continue.
Thank you for the interruption. The point that I was making, Madam Chair Lady, was that the ministers need to be very brave to open up their mouths when things aren't working. It wasn't about the fact that I gave a threat. It wasn't that, but I was willing to be brave, to go public if I didn't get what was priority for the ministry and actually for the island. And we needed that because the French side relies on us, Saba relied on us, Statia relies on us, St. Bart's relies on us, Anguilla relies on us. So it had a big risk factor associated with it. But I want to go back to the invoice that was unpaid. And I want to send a message through you, Madam Chair Lady, to the Minister of Justice and the rest of the Council of Ministers, that when you come to present the budget in our public meeting, make sure show us the full picture. Because what we have is what you give us. Crap in, crap out. We could ask a bunch of questions, but if we don't know what's outstanding, if we don't know what your plans are, how do you expect us to know that a bill is unpaid? We're not executive. We're not. When we get the budget, we don't get a budget attached with a bunch of invoices because that's not our role. Our role is to approve it. That's what we do here. So I can't work with a budget that doesn't show me the true picture. So what I want to tell the Council of Ministers once again is they always come with pretty presentations, right? What we did, what we're planning on doing, but it's already July 2026. So I know that we only have maybe 5 months left of the year, right? Pretty much practically. But when you come, give us the true picture. Do exactly what this Minister of Justice did. Give us the true picture of all the things that government didn't pay and all of the hindrances and the blocks it's causing in us actually allowing our country to work perfectly, to function efficiently. But if you don't tell us what is outstanding, I don't know from the budget, and the budget is even shorter than it was in the previous years. But you look at it, it's high level. And if you don't know how to read a budget and if you don't have no background, then they're going to say that I'm wasting their time when I ask for invoices that make up every number here that is just a total. They have to give us the information. And that's what I wanted to get out and get a message out from this presentation here today. Thanks very much, Madam Chair Lady.
Now for the weather forecast, tonight through Thursday evening. Variably cloudy with light haze and isolated showers. Surface winds, tonight through Thursday evening. East-northeast to east-southeast with a light to moderate breeze at 6 to 14 Namapark state of the sea. Slight waves, swells 2 to 4 feet outlook through Friday evening. Partly cloudy with light haze and isolated showers possible. And now your 3-day forecast.
Are you SXV insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXV is cardless. Request your My SXV account today and enter the virtual office of SXV. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
Your social health insurances.
Patrice Gums, Minister of his portfolios to the public. I'm pleased to share a few updates, the first of which is the installation of the pumps at the Garden Pump Station. As stated 2 weeks ago, one of the 2 pumps has arrived on the island and it's currently being installed. We anticipated being ready for testing within the next 2 weeks at the COM press briefing on Wednesday.
As stated 2 weeks ago, one of the 2 pumps have arrived on the island and is currently being installed. We anticipate it to be ready for testing within the next 2 weeks. The second pump is scheduled to arrive at the end of this month, July, and will be installed on Pond Island in the area known as the Vromy Yard. The installation is expected to be completed at the end of August. We are still on track to have both pumps fully operational for peak hurricane season. As it relates to hurricane preparation, within the coming weeks, the ministry will announce its hurricane cleanup plan. Please note that over the last 3 weeks, the schedules for waste collection by the haulers ahead of peak season have been published. These schedules outline what can be dumped, when and where, and collection times. The public landfill remains free of charge, and if you have missed the designated time of your hauler, especially for bulky items, including couches, fridges, stoves, please don't dispose of these on the roadside or at the side of a bin. Access to the landfill, as stated, remains free. Make the effort to bring them to the public landfill. Every effort made means less trash on the side of the road and a cleaner St. Martin. Remember, it takes all of us. I want to now turn to Mullet Bay and provide the public with an update. As stated last week, the Court of First Instance has confirmed that Mullet Bay Beach is public. I want to underscore that Sun Resorts NV maintains ownership of the land behind the beach. That has not changed, and that property has always been privately owned. As the beach isn't clearly defined, this presents a challenge for the vendors on Mullet Bay. The court has also ruled that they are not there lawfully. Next week, along with the Minister of TEAT, we'll be meeting with representatives of Sun Resorts to discuss the way forward, especially as it relates to the vendors. And what is critical for government is defining the boundaries of the beach and ensuring that ownership of the land does not obstruct the legal right of access to the beach. As this process continues, we promise to keep you, the public, informed. There are currently 6 open vacancies within the ministry. The vacancies had an original deadline of today, July 15th, but will be extended until July 31st. The public is advised to visit the ministry and my ministerial Facebook page or the employment page of the government's website to find more information and apply. And of course, the vacancies are and will continue to be published in the newspaper. I want to remind the public, of course, of the Vromy QR code launched in January last year. This is the ministry's efforts to bring your concerns closer to the ministry and for follow-up. This of two will be shared on our relevant Facebook pages.
Jamaican reggae singer Fantan Mojah has died at age 49, just weeks before his 50th birthday. The Rastafarian entertainer, whose given name was Owen Lennox Moncrief, passed away on Tuesday evening at the University Hospital of the West Indies, UHWI, in Kingston after suffering complications related to his heart. A close associate of the singer told Observer Online that Fantan Moja's health had deteriorated rapidly in the days leading up to his death. Born on August 5, 1976, in White Hill, St. Elizabeth, Fantan Moja became known for his conscious reggae music, spiritual lyrics, and strong connection to the Rastafari movement. This is our SXM Daily Newscast. Thank you for joining us.